Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Greetings, cats. I hope you are safe, you and your families, wherever you are around the world, in the middle of this pandemic. And of course, us jazz lovers, we find solace and peace in the comfort of our homes, listening to the noble sound during this pandemic. It makes the lockdown situations bearable, I must admit, and we are very thankful for jazz artists for this, because it is their music that's keeping us alive and sane. So tonight, for me, it's not different. I decided to, pull out one of my favorite tenor voices, David Murray. A great talent, really, born out of California. Initially, was very active in the free jazz and avant-garde spaces, and over time his sound has mellowed a bit. And it's not surprising because, initially I thought that someone like Murray would have looked up at Coltrane and Albert Ayler as influencers, but to my surprise, apparently his greatest influencers are the traditional players like Coleman Hawkins, Ben Webster, Paul Gonsalves, but you can actually pick up that influence, I think, in most of his latter albums, especially when he's playing ballads, like in this album, which I decided to start with first tonight. It's called Lovers. It's a beautiful quartet setup. Murray is joined by Dave Burrell, who he's played with in a number of albums. A great pianist. He's also joined by another great bass player, Fred Hopkins, who's traditionally an avant-garde free jazz player. And then on drums, they have Ralph Patterson Jr. joining them. It's a beautiful album. It starts with a very moving piece, which is a dedication to Jimmy Garrison, called Teardrops for Jimmy, and then it's got other people's compositions like, this Juke's masterpiece that's playing in the background in a sentimental mood, It's a great album. One of those I recommend for somebody who just needs an introduction into David Murray's style of play. In the album, you will find the more traditional, softer play, but from time to time during the songs, he'll be branching out just a little bit to break the monotony. Again, why I love Murray as a player, I mentioned his versatility, and I think his ability to traverse the different styles, not just free jazz, not just traditional, not just contemporary. He's also done a few, Latin jazz big band, albums, which are quite incredible and are worth exploring as well, This is another album, for the free jazz lovers that, I always strongly recommend it. There is an element of bias, of course, because the album features one of, my countrymen, Johnny Mbizo Gianni on bass. It has also Lawrence, Butch Morris on the cornet, as well as George Brown on drums. Let the music take you. Not for the faint-hearted, but nonetheless, a very great album to have in your collection if you prefer the avant-garde free jazz type style. Murray also has shown his versatility. He's done a solo album. He's done a couple of duo or duet albums. One with Dave Burrell, one with John Higgs. This one is no different, which he's done with the great Randy Weston on keys. Trio formats, Murray has done a couple of these trio format albums. This one is no different. In fact, this is probably one of his best trio albums. Shows, again, demonstrates his, prowess as a avant-garde free jazz composer, as well as a player. An incredible album to have in your collection, Quartet formats, it's one of his favorite. He's done quite a number of albums. I was actually shocked when I started collecting David Murray. I thought I would just buy a few albums, but the more you dig in, you realize that the cat has actually done more than 100 albums as leader, which is quite a lot, in a very, very short period of time. I mean, there was a time where Maria would be recording 4, 5, sometimes up to 6 albums a year, right? So this one is also one of my favorite quartet formats, you know, the morning song with John Hicks, Reggie Workman, as well as Ed Blackwell on drums. Of course, Maria has also done quite a number of the big band type formats. You know, most people would be familiar with his octet albums, you know, which is recorded for the Black Saint or Soul Note, you know, label, as well as these ones, these live big band settings or albums that he's done, which I enjoy quite a lot. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully I've convinced you to add one more artist to your collection. I certainly enjoy him, you know. Yeah, go out, explore him, and let me know your thoughts, right? Till we meet again, peace.